Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kim, and today I thought we'd do my April wrap up. So April was a busy month, very busy month. Work was just insane, but that's for another time. Anywho, this month I participated in 2 readathons. I participated in Realmathon and the Magical Readathon, as well as also trying to complete Bookopoly. Did I succeed with Bookopoly this month? No, I didn't. I bit off more than I could chew. Anywho, let's go through what I read, for what reason, and what I rated it. So the first book that I read this month was for Spells and Incantations. The prompt for this one was to read a book which was 389 to 415 pages. It was also worth 26 points for Enya. And it was also my Bookopoly pick to read a family pick. So remember, my family picked my read for me this month. And that read is The Endless Cornish Summer. This I rated 4 stars. I actually really like this. It really took me into that Cornish little village. I love being in Cornwall. It's just so beautiful and it really took me there. So I gave it 4 stars. The second book that I read this month was for Psionics and Divination, which was to read a book with clouds on the cover. My version doesn't have clouds on the cover, but there is a version with clouds on the cover. It was also on my Bookopoly. I got colour wheel. I spin the wheel and I got black. So my copy is black. So, okay, I'm cheating just a little bit. But it also got me 60 points for Enya. And that book is The Dragon Reborn. This is also part of Will of Time Along. So, this one I rated it 3 stars because it wasn't as good as the first 2 for me. It really wasn't, and I had to mark it down a star. I had to. The third book that I read this month was for Art of Illusion, which was matching colour of what your outfit was to match the book cover, and I'm pretty much always in black. It was also on my Bookopoly TBR to read a pet pick. So my little kitty, she helped me pick this one. It also got me 50 points for Enya. That book is Sleeping Giants. I did like this. I gave this 4 stars. Not as good as I thought it would be, but it wasn't bad. And I really did enjoy it. And I'm really kicking up with my sci-fi, so. The next book that I read was for astronomy class, which was to read a book with at least 2 E's in the title. It was also on my Bookopoly TBR to read a thriller. And it gave me 22 points towards Enya. It is also my Agatha Christie Poirot book for the month, and that was The Labours of Hercules. This one, I really didn't feel this one. I gave it 3 stars. It dragged on. There wasn't really... If it was tied more towards Hercules and the Labours of Hercules, I think I would have liked it more, but it really wasn't, so it got 3 stars. The next book that I read was a community shelf card on Bookopoly to read a seasonal read. It was also worth 31 points for Enya, and is probably my best read of the month, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. This is the second Andy Weir book I've read, and the second one I've rated 5 stars. This is a new favourite author for me. It's going to be an immediately purchased author. This was so funny, but so tragic at the same time. It was just amazing, and I loved it. 5 stars. The next book that I read was, unfortunately, a little bit of disappointment. It was for alchemy class, and it was to read a book with a metal in the title, and for that reason I decided to continue on with the series and read Golden Sun. This got me 46 points for Enya though. but it only got 3 stars. I didn't like this as good as the first one. It just seemed to drag on. I didn't like it. The next book that I read also gave me 47 points for Enya. It was Blood and Honey. I'm ticking off those sequels. Unfortunately, this one also only got 3 stars. Not the best. The next book that I read was part of Conjuration, which was to read a book that was recommended by a friend. A friend very kindly recommended this to me. It was also worth 34 points for Enya. And it is Amari and the Great Game. Another sequel. Dick. And I loved this one as well. It was 5 stars for me. I absolutely loved the first book and I loved the second book, and seriously, I cannot wait for the next one. I don't read young books very often, but when I do, I want them to be 5 stars like this one. Oh my God. Brilliant. The next book that I read was worth 52 points for Enya, and it wasn't as good as the previous 2 books. I only gave it 4 stars, but I still loved this book. I still love this series. I love everything written by this woman, and it is Haunted Waters by Laura C. Redden. The next book that I read was worth 55 points for Enya, and I made kind of a boo-boo. I started reading this book and then probably 200 pages in, realised that I'd already read it. Oh dear. What am I like? Anyway, I read Air of Fire for the second time. But I had a good time and I rated it 5 stars. And I've started the next one in the series. I will get this series finished this year. The next book that I read this month was for law class, which is to read a book with a map in it. This also gave me 63 points for Enya. Get in. And it is Ashes of the Sun. Unfortunately, this one, I didn't click with it. I listened to the audio, and it being an adult book, the audio sounds very young and didn't really sound like it went with the book. So for that reason, it only got 3 stars. The next book that I read was a sequel again, and it was on my copy TBR to read a fantasy romance. It also got me 63 points for Enya. Nice one. It is The Solace of Sharp Claws. Again, not as good as the first one for me. I didn't click with the characters as well as I did with the first book. And it just took a long time to get anywhere. The last book that I read this month was The Grapes of Wrath, which was worth 28 points for Enya, and I rated it, surprisingly, 4 stars. I actually kind of like this one. Not bad. So that's all the books that I read in April. Could I have read more? Probably. But I was just so busy and so exhausted through this month that it didn't happen. I failed my Bookopoli TBR. I did, however, pass all my classes. So I'm moving into next semester. Brilliant. But yeah, that's everything that I read this month. Let me know what you thought. Let me know whether you agree with any of my opinions on stars. Let me know whether you think I'm completely insane and I rated low one of your favourite books. Let me know. Talk to me. If you don't want to talk to me, leave a stack of books as the emoji, because it's a wrap-up. Anywho, as always, down in my description box, you'll find a link to all of my socials. Come give me a follow on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Goodreads. You can like this video, you can comment, and you can subscribe if you really want to. But until next time, toodles.